Okay, I'm gonna have to make this update quick. I'm about to get on a plane for New Mexico, be gone for a while. Had a little bit of time at home, but not much because it was actually part of a vacation and I go storm chasing every year. Maybe I'll put some shots of that in this video later. But anyway, I think the most obvious visible update on the theater is going to be this addition of the step lights. Finally, you can see to get in the room. I'm actually thinking about adding one in the middle, but there's also a rail that I removed when moving the chairs and stuff in. Never did put it back. So I may put those rails back on and put some like a little strip of LEDs on the bottom edge to help see this. But you can actually see the steps pretty well just with those lights, but I don't know. It wouldn't be that hard to add an additional one in the middle of the step, so I may or may not do that. But anyway, this continues on, of course, over to the other side, and probably would do the same thing here, add one in the middle. So, but now probably the biggest update, and is not as immediately obvious, is an upgrade and a simplification. I had all those BasX amplifiers in there. Right now there's still one down there, but that's temporary. This is the XPA. It's got 4 of the higher power modules and 3 of the stereo modules, and that powers the main line, which you can see the bottom of there. And it's there's the main line for anybody that hasn't seen that already. And it also powers the open baffle woofer system here with the 8 15-inch drivers, and it powers half of the 18-inch drivers that go up there in the attic. And then of course on the same side you got the same situation over here. That one XPA amplifier powers the line, powers the dipole woofers, and powers the other half of the 18-inch drivers. So that simplifies things quite a bit. That's a lot less amplifier channels. What I did was some of the groups of drivers in the lines that had the same output but were being driven by separate channels are now combined into one higher power channel with the XPA. So I made this this PCB here. I had it made, drew this up in a software package to distribute the XLR cables with, you can see the resistors on there maybe. That's to give the attenuations for the different shading groups in the CBT array. So that's going to be, I'll package that into some kind of a chassis, but the CNC's down right now, so I've got to get it running again. I'm having to rebuild, as I started rebuilding the controller back in 2019, never finished, but I'm going to have to do that now because the old one is just too far gone to keep patching up. So once I get that done, it'll be all new motors, all new servo drives, all new everything. So, but anyway, and then the side surrounds, that's the other thing, is this thing is driven by a DSP, it's a miniDSP Flex, whereas before I was using 3 of the 2x4 HDs. Now just one 2x4 Flex balanced. I was getting some hum before, but it was all single-ended. Now it's balanced. So that completely eliminated the hum. So no problem. It's got extremely low noise floor now. So, and then of course there's another Flex that is for temporarily. This is on a 3 of the 7 channels of a BasX amplifier. But I've ordered another XPA that's going to be in the center. It's all stereo modules, so 7 of those stereo modules, so 14 channels, 6 of which will power the center array, which we can maybe kind of see. There's the center array. So 6 of those channels and out of that 14 will power the center array. It's also a lot fewer channels than it was before. And then the remaining channels on that XPA amplifier will power the surrounds. So you get 3 surrounds or side surrounds on each side. So that will be 6 more of those 14 channels. And then when I eventually get some rear speakers built, the other 2 channels will power those. So basically just 3 amplifier boxes will power everything other than Atmos. And I've got, I don't know, 10 or 12. They're not all even in here. One of them's actually in for repair right now, but warranty repair. But I've got all these BasX amplifiers. I've got a 4-channel. There's a 4-channel one right there. It'll probably get used to power 4 Atmos speakers eventually. So the other change that is coming, a friend of mine pointed out that, you know, this oak, stained oak stuff just doesn't really go well with the rest of the decor. He's right. These are kind of a relic of my old theater that I built in 2008. I had a lot of cherry in that one. Had the cherry baseboards, had the cherry crown molding, had the cherry columns. And I wanted a flavor of that in this theater, but he's right, it doesn't really fit. So I think these are gonna go. I still had not built the top. You know, the top was gonna be basically an upside down version of this up there. It'll actually be less work to remove these and build something simpler that's probably fabric covered and maybe some kind of something that matches the wall, and then this blue baseboard that's you know, maybe that color, and then get some different fabrics. So it'll actually be easier to rip that out and do something simpler and different than it would be to go ahead and build the rest of this, you know, the top section of this. So those will be coming out probably on the next time that I have a significant amount of time at home. But anyway, so I think that's about it for this update. I didn't have a lot of time. This whole floor light thing, that was a major job. I mean, they overbuilt this riser so bad. I mean, I was using some 2.5 foot long bits trying to find my way to some place in the outside world under the floor there. But finally someone had to go at angles and stuff, because otherwise it was running the length of a board and would have never come out. But finally got those in. So spent about probably 10 hours just on drilling holes and routing wires. So, but anyway, I think that's about it for this update. It's actually kind of coming together. Of course, here in the control room, this is going to be the next big project. This is still a mess. The Anthem is acting up. Sometimes the display doesn't turn on. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. I want to get rid of that thing or replace it in something not Anthem. Definitely not Anthem. I don't like that company at all. Their customer support's horrible. So, but I guess one of the next things is going to be, I've got this this thing here to going to mount, have all the XLR cables that go down to the front tied into it, and then going to make some kind of a panel to mount that on, and also to run the cables for like the floor lighting, and the 12-volt trigger actually just got built into that thing to run down to power on the amplifiers and so on. I've also got to clean up all the wiring for the projector here. But this area is going to be the next big project. Try to get this all cleaned up, get some kind of a rack in here, get the equipment mounted. I got to figure out what I'm going to do as far as the internet. You know, I get the modem and all that stuff over there. That's, of course, that stuff over there is whole house audio, separate from the theater. But that'll be after the theater's done. I'll start working on that. But anyway, I got to figure out how I'm going to mount all that stuff, where I'm going to put things, and, you know, mount some kind of a, you know, this network switch or something. Decide if I'm going to fill this in with fiber and decorative something on the other side and whatever, and duplicate it over there for kind of a bass trap, or if I'm just going to sheetrock over it and get rid of it completely. I'm not sure yet. So, but anyway, I wish I had more done. But, you know, like I said, I had some time off, but a good portion of that was my storm chasing vacation. So if you want to go storm chasing, it's, I think it's stormchasingtours.com. It's Brandon Ivy. He's one of the guys that was on the Storm Chasers TV series back a few years ago. He's very good at what he does. He'll get you to see some tornadoes. But anyway, that's about it for now. I got to get ready. The taxi's going to be here shortly, and I'll be gone again for a while. So that's it.